So we talking sinners, man. We talking a few different breakdowns, a few different things to go over. I feel like some important keys. I feel like everybody and their mom either made a real TikTok video review, and I just want them my hat in the ring. You feel me? Not even to be a follower, but just to feel like I got my own spin on things. Like I know a little something, something. So yeah, we gonna get into it. Um, yeah, man. In the comments down below for those who are watching after this, right? What you call it? What y'all think of Sinners? Did y'all like Sinners? Did y'all think it was trash? Are you too Christian? Where you didn't like certain parts of the movie? Like, what was your thoughts on it? What were you really feeling? Like, what weren't you feeling? Things like that. I feel like a lot of Christians probably had a problem with the movie because it was based in and around different Africans, spirituality, stuff like that. You feel me? So, you know, it's that's a deeper conversation we can kind of get into though. But to get the conversation started, let's talk a little bit about some of the characters, right? So, one of the main characters that we know from the movie is Annie, right? The black woman, black Southern woman. The hoodoo witch doctor, if you feel, if you would. It's important to understand two things, right? What she symbolically represented. Oh, Taylor, there goes Tay. Okay, okay, we here, we lit. Um,
Yes.
hold on, right. So I was about to jump in a little bit with Annie before you got on, right? So let's talk a little bit about Annie. So what were your before we even talk about her? Okay, what was your thoughts on the movie?
Oh my goodness, the movie is excellent.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. I tell people like the trailer
Mm-hmm.
did not match the movie
Yeah.
at all because like what happened, I did not expect
Yeah.
due to just how the trailer morphs everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it was honestly really, really good. That's the movie you have to see
All right.
again
Mm-hmm.
for sure. And I've been trying to see it again, but I've just been busy. But I was like, maybe
Same.
this weekend. And then I'm like, damn, I'm busy. So
Mm-hmm.
I got to
Facts.
figure out like a day or like
Yeah.
maybe Tuesdays because it's like $5, $6. And then
Mm-hmm.
just go and like digest it even more.
Right.
So, but I
Right.
loved it. I thought it was excellent. Like
Same.
10/10.
I hate how much we're like Taylor because like as you're saying that, right? I told Tasia and I told myself, oh, last weekend I'm gonna go watch it again because we watched it, the first Sunday. We watched it on Easter Sunday the weekend they
Ooh,
came
y'all are
out.
sinners, literally. Okay.
Yeah, listen, what? Okay, anyway. But I told myself go watch it this past weekend. Didn't get a chance because I was too busy. Things were going on. Shoot, I didn't even do a podcast. This is the podcast for this week. So
Oh,
we a day late technically. So it is what it is though. But yeah, so I definitely probably want to go see it this weekend. It's funny that I knew we were gonna get on, and I was thinking to
mhm.
myself, I'm like, dog, we might have to go see it before we go out uh, on Saturday. We might. Just it depends. I don't know. We got to find a theater closer to where we actually having dinner, but I would love to still. I got to go see it sometime this weekend.
Yeah,
I
I'm
got to
trying
go.
to like think the area that we're gonna be at. I mean,
Mhm.
it's like technically there is, but I'm very biased. Like when you have that movie theater, I
Yeah,
have that
yeah,
movie
yeah.
theater. So
Me too. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, damn, do I want to cheat on my movie theater? That's been so good to me.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
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 but excellent movie though,
yeah.
completely excellent.
Yeah, definitely top tier. Definitely
Can you
top.
ask Tasia if my lip gloss is popping or if it's cool? Because I can't see anything.
Babe, can you hear her? Oh wait, I don't think she. Hold up. Oh, let me text her because she got off, I guess. But it pays lip lip gloss popping. So, what did you think of Annie?
What did I not think of Annie? First of all, I'm very big on representation.
Yeah,
Like I really am. So yay, it's an all black movie, all black cast for the most part. I
yeah,
loved it.
hmm
But I really loved that it was, how can I say this? Because she's so beautiful to me. But
hmm
she was the beauty that people have to think about.
Okay.
I really love that it was someone like her,
Yep.
where, naturally, I'm pretty sure there's people who find her unattractive,
Mm-hmm.
naturally. And then, she's just not the stoic beauty. Like, she's just, oh, like,
Mm-hmm.
and I love that she was like thick.
Mm-hmm.
She's considered a big woman.
Yep.
I love that her hair was her hair.
Yeah.
And I love that she was the one that had sense at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day compared to
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I love how ancestral she was. I love how confident and powerful
Yeah.
she
Mm-hmm.
was. And I love that she really did everything through like love
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the
Yep.
day, especially when her and
Mm-hmm.
Smoke, well, clearly they were on different pages, I guess, within their relationship, but they always connected back. And I just love that she, no matter what, just always looked out for him. And
Gotcha.
she allowed him to be the man, but she corrected him when necessary. Like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
why do you need permission to get into this house? Because if she
Right.
never interjected,
Mm-hmm.
now all of them would have been zombies.
Yeah. What? Right. And
All of
I
them.
think it's facts that you say that, because that's literally what I wanted to talk about her. Like, I think so much of the times, bro, like we as we as black people, one, we won't give black women enough credit generally for their beauty, for their style, for their grace, and
Mm,
for the power, the magic, and all that stuff that they possess. Right. So that's first off. But the brilliance of Annie as a character, and just as a woman, is that she symbolizes the intuition of black women generally, right? And that's what she did for the movie. See, a
literally.
lot of times, fam, we always talk about how men are protectors, right? And men are the physical protectors, right? But women are the spiritual protection that we need. You feel me? That
Of
the
course.
love and the prayers of grandma. You feel me? The
Oh, yeah.
the insights that women can sometimes see people's personality and bullshit coming a mile away, and having the ability to check it is
Hmm.
it's such a needed thing. And I love the fact that she just symbolized that generally in the movie.
Yes. And she wasn't the traditional girl.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't the
Exactly.
girl with a BBL. She wasn't stick skinny. The
Mm-hmm.
girl had a stomach, okay? You can
Mm-hmm.
tell she had a stomach. And
Mm-hmm.
she still wore what she wore, like she's literally the traditional
Yeah.
woman. The woman that people for some reason are embarrassed to be with or they keep
Mhm.
hidden.
Yeah.
Like she was out loud and proud, and I love that Smoke loved her out loud, especially when
Mhm.
they were in the what you call it, the juke joint,
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
technically the slaughterhouse, but
Right, right, right.
they were
The
there, and I
purpose
just love that
people.
he loved her out loud, and I just love that she just had sense. Like,
Mhm.
I think it also symbolizes how like the most educated group in
Mhm.
America really is Black women. Like we have
Mhm.
such high degrees,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but no one ever wants to talk about that, and
Mhm.
I love, like, to me, I could be reaching, but I also love that Ryan kind of mimicked that, but in his own fashion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because again, everybody there was doing their own thing, not saying that they were stupid or anything like that, but
Mhm.
they at the end of the day did not know what the hell to do.
Right.
They
Right.
didn't.
She
But
was she
she
was the
was like,
hero. Yeah.
eat the garlic.
Mhm.
Why do you need to come inside? You've been guarding this all day,
Mhm.
I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
So, da da da. Oh, you dead. Because again, no one knew what was wrong with him. They were just like, this nigga crazy. Like he just wanted to take a
Right.
piss and now he all jolly giant.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it was just like, you
Mhm.
dead. Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
She
She
was the
said, no,
first one to clock
man.
it. Mhm.
She clocked it.
Yeah.
She literally saved everybody. And
Mhm.
she literally told Smoke, like, if I were to get bitten or whatever the case is, kill me, please.
Mhm.
And I'm glad that he kept that promise.
Right,
So
right, right. And that was it's crazy because I was like, yo, why was they so upset that she died? Like she actually like died instead of turning to a vampire or whatever. And it's because obviously once once they bite you, you get all of the knowledge of that person, right? And they wanted her information, they wanted her sense, they wanted her knowledge, right? Which
they
again,
wanted to
black women
take,
are the most educated. Okay, yeah.
yes, they literally
Mhm,
wanted to take credit for something that wasn't theirs. Just like everything, honestly, almost anything with women
mhm.
literally started with Black women at the end of the day.
Yeah,
So, but you will never get we will never know the true story or the real credit.
right.
It's always given to other ethnicities and It's just like, no, literally everything started with black women.
Fact. Oh, yeah.
Style,
That's
grace,
fact.
accessories,
Mm-hmm.
hair,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
all the above. Everybody's trying to like, the whole movement. Well, I'm pretty sure it's now back to skinny. I don't know when it changed, but
Mm-hmm.
for a while now, everyone literally wanted to mimic black women,
Mm-hmm.
BBLs,
Yeah.
just being full, and now
Mm-hmm.
everyone want to cook like black women.
Yeah.
Where's the ginger? Where's the turmeric, the onion,
Mm-hmm.
the everything?
Yeah.
Trendsetter.
Facts. Facts. Yeah, man. One time for black women, dog. Cause nah,
We're
she
magical,
was the hero.
literally, and
She was
she
the
was
hero.
magical too.
Yeah, she was literally magical. Facts.
Literally magic.
Literally
Yeah.
magic. Yeah, man. So the next person who I wanted to talk about, or the next character who I wanted to talk about, was the combination of Smoke and Stack. Right. What did you think about them? What did you think
First of all,
about their dynamic?
Michael B. Jordan played
Hmm.
the hell out of
Yeah.
both roles to
Yeah,
the
he did.
point where I honestly left the movie saying, "Oh shit, that was one person."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, he gave such a stellar performance. Like,
Yeah.
it literally reminded me of, and I say this because the only other person I know to do it so well was Lindsay Lohan in The
Oh,
Parent
yeah.
Trap.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember telling my mom, like, when I was younger, like, "Oh my gosh, where's Lindsay Lohan's sister?" Da, da, da. My mom was
Mm-hmm.
like, "She played both roles."
Yeah.
I said, "What?"
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I was young, I didn't know. I really thought she had a sister.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, I really thought Michael B. Jordan played the shit out of those roles.
Yeah.
Um, as far as the characters, I love that they were different. I love
Mm-hmm.
that he made them different on top of that, but I love that I just think that they really spoke to like the black man's like plight in a
Mm-hmm.
way
Yeah.
where
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you like, for example, Smoke, because I gotta remember the name.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Smoke, he literally had the woman of his dreams, but low key the street life, or that he didn't want to have that poverty mindset. He didn't want to be
Yeah.
in poverty or anything like that. He didn't want to be
Mm-hmm.
like what his father, although he ended up kind of being like his father, and his lineage were like,
Yeah.
like struggling and having to bow down to the white man and to da da da. And then Stack just kind of went with the flow,
Mm-hmm.
fucking bitches, getting money. But
Yeah.
then he also kind of had like a forbidden love,
Yeah.
and he didn't know what to do with it. So he, in essence, took the easy way out
Yeah.
and just,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah. Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I gotta let you go because whatever, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I think the movie was just good. Like, I don't even know what to tell you. It was just
I feel no,
great.
no, I feel you. I feel you, and that's why we talk about it because it's like I love the way Ryan Coogler put shit together, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact of how Michael B. Jordan did his thing because, like, all right, so Smoke and Stack are literally supposed to be, even though they're twins or identical twins, I feel like they literally represent the good and the bad of men, like actual guys, like men in general, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Smoke is like the go-getter capitalist, the
By any
everything
means
is about money and
necessary.
power, but
Mm-hmm.
he stands on principle, right? Like the thing that I
Yes.
liked about him, like I don't know if you remember the scene where he was like he told the little girl, hop in the truck. If anybody come, lean on that horn. And then he was trying to teach her how to negotiate little things like that. I was like, you literally are giving game, right? But there
Yeah.
and you a gangster. You stealing stuff like you finessing, but like
Yeah.
you know what it is, right? So and he
Mm-hmm.
told her, lean on the horn, whatever. And then somebody actually came, so when the horn was honked, he pulled up. He talked to him. He was like, "Hey, hold up." He was like, "Hey, don't I know you?" He was like, "Oh, Smoke, that's you." Right, but after the whole interaction, whatever, he still shot him because he was like, I can't let nobody feel like the twins are soft. You know what I mean? It's like yeah, we bout that, and I know you and all that, but I gotta still shoot you in the ass. Like it is
Yeah.
like
And the thing is, he was still respectful because he didn't kill him. He
right,
literally he shot them both in places where they can heal.
right,
So
exactly. But he still had to
yeah,
set the precedent, which was funny, right?
exactly. Yeah.
And I think it's funny because he was a good contrast for Annie because to me he represented if she represented everything that was protection in the spiritual world, He
Hmm.
represented everything that was protection in the material world. So finding ways to
For
get money,
sure.
finding ways to be
Hmm.
masculine and like be a go getter. And because I think he was the one who had the idea of it being a juke joint. He was even mad that people was paying to like sharecropper coins and little stuff like that. So
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
He was even upset. He was like the only thing that really matter in this life is power. Like it's like dang bro, you done been to war, you done been through all these things that's made you so good at the
hard.
material world. And I'm happy that Annie kind of balanced you out, which also makes sense why y'all probably didn't work because she was so spiritual and you were so material. You know what I mean? So that
Yeah.
pull away from each other. But yeah.
I think also a fun fact is
Mm.
that Annie, was the only one that he really was vulnerable with.
Right. Right.
So I think I love that you saw that too. Like you
Mm,
saw how macho and woo woo he was,
mm.
but with her,
Yeah.
he was he wasn't soft, but
Mm,
his like that guard that he has up was
hmm.
definitely lowered. Like
Right.
she really got to his soul,
Hmm. She
and he
did.
knew that. Like he knew no other woman in essence could compare to her.
Right.
That's why he always kept coming back, and naturally to their deceased child and stuff like
Hmm.
that. But he still wore the
Hmm.
protection,
Yeah.
although
Yeah.
he really didn't believe in it. You can tell, but he
Hmm.
still had that, and
Yeah.
that literally ended up saving his life at the end of the day.
Fact.
Before he officially ripped it off because he was ready to be with her,
Hmm.
and their child. But yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
good.
Facts. And yeah, she was the only one who could draw it out of him, and it makes sense because I mean, she had that mojo bag, like you said, like the the fact that he was so I think he was so hurt because of the loss of their child.
Yeah.
Right? He was like, "Yo, you are so powerful. You so spiritual. You so amazing, but that couldn't save our child." Like he was so caught up in the physical. He couldn't he
Hmm.
couldn't divorce himself from it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So and I think at the same time, while she was a weak spot for him, I think the situation was just too much for him. And I think that speaks to men's general like lack of emotional intelligence. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And he
Yeah.
played that role really, really, really well. That
Extremely
part I
well.
gotta give I gotta give to him. You know what I mean? For Smoke. Stack on the other hand was like you said, fun loving. He was chill. He was the playboy.
He
But he did
was.
have that forbidden love, like you said, and he did have a bit of a heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because I was
he
like,
definitely
go ahead, go
had the
ahead.
heart
Mm-hmm,
for
mm-hmm,
sure. Because the sharecropper scene, like I understand, like it's a business, and
mm-hmm.
obviously we understand business and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
he had to remind his brother, like these people don't get. You should be happy that they're here.
Mm-hmm,
That's the
mm-hmm.
thing. You opening a juke joint,
Yeah.
but if people don't come and support,
We don't got nothing.
you don't got anything. So you gotta look out for your people. So he was definitely like he was just human with it.
Mm-hmm,
That's
mm-hmm.
He was just human. Like
Yeah.
well, that's really what it was.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
He
mm-hmm.
was the fun, like the fun cousin,
Yeah.
the fun brother, like the one that you like. He about that life. He about the shits.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
He don't take anything serious, and black
Right.
people, we have that stigma to us too, where y'all can't
Right.
take shit serious.
Yeah.
No, like we have to find the joy in the pain, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the difference. Smoke found power in his pain,
Mm-hmm.
but Stack was
Right.
like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to make it fun, make it
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. He
that
gonna make
way.
he gonna make everything fun. Everything gotta be a vibe. Everything gotta be chill.
Exactly,
He
exactly.
he the one
So
who rolled up for his brother. He's the one who, when him and why am I his name is escaping me. The boy who played the guitar, which we will get to him in a second. But
a preacher boy.
Preacher Boy, right? When
Yeah.
he heard Preacher Boy on the guitar in the car, he was like, "Woo!" Like he was gassing him up. He was like, "Hold up, bro! I didn't know you could do all that."
Yeah.
Like
He
like
was a dreamer at the end of the day
hmm
because he
yeah,
was
he
like,
was
"Oh yeah,
definitely
you
the dream.
gotta, definitely here's the guitar, blase blase, live your dreams." While remember Smoke when Preacher Boy told him, Smoke was like,
Yeah,
"What?
yeah, yeah.
No, you need to, get your shit together like that. You can't
Mhm,
go out singing and, like that. That's gonna get you nowhere." So Smoke was
mhm,
like the realist, while
yeah,
Stack was like the dreamer. Like, no, you can. Let's
opposite.
do it. Boom, boom, boom.
Definitely, definitely. Um, so what did you think about Preacher Boy? Preacher Boy
First
as
of
a
all,
character.
his voice.
Yeah.
alone, like I was like, damn, this is deep. Like
Hmm.
I thought that was like some technology shit that they did because that was a deep ass voice.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But he definitely from scene one of him, well, not really because he came in like all bloody with the guitar, but
Hmm.
like when they started to do like, oh, before that, you can see the innocence.
Hmm.
And that's what I loved. I think he portrayed that innocence so
Yeah.
well. Like
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the casting for this movie, like top tier.
Top
Like
tier.
I wouldn't switch out nobody.
Hmm. Hmm.
Or, even think, oh, like maybe this person could have, but nope, everyone literally did their big one.
Yeah.
But
Facts.
yeah, his character was just about innocence. I think it also represents like the fight that people have. Where do I go with what is considered normal and
Hmm.
right and
Yeah.
respectable, whatever,
Yeah.
or do I actually take this risk,
Yeah.
chase my dream? You know,
Hmm.
I'm gonna disappoint my parents and
Yeah.
disappoint my family, whatever. But
Hmm.
am I gonna actually listen and bet on myself?
Right. Right.
I
Right.
think he represented that like
That kind
wavy time period that we all go through
of. Hmm.
in life, where we're like, "Ooh, should I? Should I not?"
Yeah. I think he. I think what Ryan was trying to use him as was like the I guess the crossroads of our life, so to speak. Like
Yeah,
the
literally,
you literally you can either go left or right, and which one is your decision is gonna make this one decision is gonna make or break your life. You feel me? And
literally. Like, what is your destiny? That's
mhm,
really it. Like,
basically,
is your
right.
destiny to literally be a preacher boy,
Hmm.
or do you want to be a musician?
Right.
So,
Right. Right.
or
Right.
whatever your heart desires,
Exactly.
which takes a lot of courage. Both, no matter which way you go,
Hmm.
you're still going to hurt somebody. So would you rather hurt yourself
Yeah.
or just hurt other people who already made their choice?
Hmm. 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 Facts.
So,
Yeah,
but
man.
yeah.
Nah, and so uh, what do you think about some of the spiritual? What's the words I'm looking for? The spiritual lessons of this movie, right? Especially
Oh, God.
specifically, or I'm specifically thinking about Preacher Boy. But what's one that you could think of if before I go?
First off, the scene that got me, and I don't know if anyone, I'm pretty sure people got it,
Yeah,
but the scene that got me the most, more than anything, was when my God,
the
the
vampire.
main vampire, names
Remick.
are escaping me.
Remick
Thank
is the
you.
name. Yeah.
Yeah, him. When he was in the water with Preacher Boy, he was
Hmm.
literally baptizing him. He did it
Hmm.
3 times.
Yeah.
Like I literally counted it. I was like, oh my gosh. Um
Hmm.
and I loved too that Preacher Boy started to say the Lord's Prayer.
Hmm.
Or was it Psalm 23? I don't remember what he said. Because like I said,
I think it was the Lord's Prayer. I think it was.
okay.
Yeah.
Because I know it was one of them that we all know.
Hmm.
And what's his face started to just mimic it too. And he was like, I know this very well. Like it's been
Hmm.
taught to me too. And I think people, they have to, you have to like literally clock it that
Yeah.
the devil
Yeah.
know the Bible better than the best preacher.
Uh-huh. Talk to him. Uh-huh.
Okay, like he was once an angel who fallen, but if anyone knows the Bible front to back, side to side, loopholes, this is that, it's
Hmm.
definitely the devil.
Facts.
So
Facts.
I love that he incorporated it because I've heard talk that a lot of Christians don't want to watch Sinners because they feel like it's very demonic.
Hmm.
And that just makes me so effing sick because it's
Yeah.
just like you can't hide from what is really happening.
Right.
Like I understand that it's a movie, but
Hmm.
this is the whole symbolism is
Yeah.
literally what happened and what is happening in the world.
Right.
Like
Right.
literally the Bible talks about demons, demonic spirits, all the
Hmm.
above. You are not in and I feel like people confuse fear of the unknown evil
Hmm.
with everything being demonic.
Yeah. 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 They definitely do.
And we need to have a boundary.
Hmm.
Like I will never ever do a Ouija board. Who or
Hmm. Yeah.
no, that's how white people shit. I will never.
Right.
You invite me to that shit, guess what?
I'm hitting it.
Okay, like
Right. Right.
no, I will grab my purse
Hmm. Yeah.
and whatever the hell I brought into this space and I will leave. I don't
Right.
mess with that.
Right.
However, I like to be educated.
Hmm.
on the matter. I personally love scary movies.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's my comfort. Like people, oh, The Notebook. Oh, I love Titanic. What's your comfort movie? The Conjuring. Literally, like it really is.
Yeah.
It really is. Like I just music to my ears. That
Yep.
doesn't make me demonic.
Hmm. Yeah, but
You
I
know what I'm
mean,
saying?
hey,
But
listen. Yeah.
all jokes aside, like I love that he pushed the boundary.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's really what I appreciate. He literally pushed the boundary, and
Yep.
there was just so much symbolism. Like again, like
Hmm.
angels, ancestors,
Hmm.
voodoo.
Yeah.
You know, I think when people properly educate themselves on a lot
Yeah.
of matters,
Hmm.
they will understand like everything has good and evil.
Hmm.
Even Christianity, the Ku Klux Klan are
Yeah.
big Christians,
Facts. Biggest.
the biggest.
The top tiers. Yeah.
White nationalists, all the above. Those rural people that, voted for Trump in the name of Jesus.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, they're Christians.
Right.
Although everything they do is pretty much of evil. Or they're
Right.
not of the Bible. I'm sorry, they're not
Yeah.
living like Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then you have Christians like myself, where I love me a good scary movie, but yet I tithe. I
Hmm.
follow the words of the
Yeah.
Lord. I pray. I have a real relationship with God. Like, do you?
Hmm.
So I just think like people just really have to stop trying to check off boxes, like what we spoke about in like an earlier
Yep.
episode
Yeah.
of this.
Hmm.
Stop trying to check off boxes and actually just do what you say you're doing.
Right. Right.
So I really like that he again pushed that boundary.
Yeah. Me too. Me too.
He made you think.
Hmm.
Like,
Definitely. Definitely. I think so. One of the spiritual lessons that I realized, I mean, yeah, I definitely seen Remick, the main vampire, uh, operating kind of as the devil, right? Baptizing him, knowing the Lord's Prayer. But one of the things that I thought of today on the ride home, because I was like, I know we're talking about this today, is that a lot of people didn't pick up on something which is kind of cool. So Preacher Boy's gift was literally, well, two things. Well, the gift that he had was his guitar, right? Now, the
mm,
thing about your gift is that it invites both good and bad to you, right? And I think people already know that generally, right? And the spiritual lesson that I picked up on was, in the Bible, it always talks about how your gift will make room for you, right? And I
mm-hmm,
said, okay, that's interesting, right? Literally, it the symbol of the guitar was a force for liberation, but if used, depending on how you use your gift, is how well the gift will serve you, right? So in
mm-hmm,
the same way that you can conjure spirits, you can also defeat the devil with the same gift, because at the end of the movie, what happened? He hit him with the guitar. The same
mm-hmm,
guitar that he used to conjure him is the same
mm-hmm,
guitar that he used to literally destroy him. And a lot of
mm-hmm.
people, I was like, holy shit! Literally, the way you wield your gift, right, both spiritually and literally, is is one of the biggest benefits that you have in life. If you know how to use it properly, you can literally, whether you can, one, of invite bad, but you can also wield it for good. And I was like, holy shit, this nigga Ryan did his fucking big one, bro.
And I love that you said that because that's completely true.
Hmm.
Where, like I'm big on two truths can exist at the same time.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna use Hitler.
Hmm.
Hitler was obviously, as we know, one of the most evil, cruel people in the
Right.
world. Like he literally is on the list of
Top tier. Yeah. Yeah.
like he's full, like just the shit list.
Mhm,
But his gift was that
mhm,
he was such a great orator. He
mhm.
can give a speech, he can get the crowd going,
Yeah.
he can, from what I was told, like, based on studies and,
Mhm.
people who I guess were around that for the most part, like
Yep.
he can really tap into your psyche and be like,
Yep.
yeah, the Jews are the problem, although you've
Mhm,
never had a
mhm.
problem with Jews before.
Yeah.
So I love that he really, like capitalized off of the
Mhm.
gift.
His gift. Yeah.
Because Sammy, like his voice alone was moving.
Mhm,
The blues, especially the history behind the blues, is that
mhm,
people really thought it was the devil's music,
mhm.
because it was so different.
Yep.
And then like there, oh my gosh, names, but there's like a story about the devil at the crossroads where this
Yeah.
man, I don't remember his name, but it's a black man, and he
Yeah.
sold his soul to the devil so
Hmm.
that he can be such a prominent blues
Yeah.
musician, like he'll be remembered. And the thing is, he is.
Hmm.
I just really don't remember his name, but guess what? The
Yeah.
devil took him back. Like I
Let me.
think he
Yeah.
was,
Yeah. Go ahead. Keep going. I'll look it up. Go ahead.
yeah, I think he was famous for like 3 years, but he
Hmm.
was like famous, famous. I'm talking about
Yeah.
like he shot all the way up to the charts.
Hmm.
And then he just mysteriously died. Like really no one knows how he died. He just,
Hmm.
died.
Yeah.
Um,
His
but
name is
the
Robert Johnson. Sorry. Yeah. Robert Johnson.
thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. I knew it was an R. I
Hmm.
was like, I didn't know, like,
Yep.
yes,
Yep.
yes. And then, again, people equate blues because it's just different. It's a different music, it's a different vibe.
Hmm.
And, and it shows that people are scared about what they don't know.
Yes. 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 Yes.
So, even like rap music, when it first came out, people were like, that's the devil music.
Hmm.
Every music that makes you think is always equated with devil.
Right.
And I
Right.
don't understand why, because I've never heard anyone say that about polk,
Hmm.
you know?
Well, I think there's a couple mystical teachings. Oops. There's a couple teachings, I think. One, that a lot of people hear that the devil is the angel of music, right? So
Hmm.
they feel like whenever somebody is extremely musically inclined or music has a draw on people,
Yes, it is.
they like it got to be of the devil, right?
Right.
Which is part of the kind of the history of not of the Bible, but not really the Bible per se. It's that's a whole nother podcast by itself. That could take,
It really is.
but there's some remnants of the biblical teaching saying that the devil is the angel of music. But the thing that was, I think, interesting about Robert Johnson, I think that Ryan Coogler said was instead of it being a deal with the devil, it was a deal with one of the, is it Ifa or I think voodoo what you call it, voodoo priests or voodoo spirits named Papa
Hmm.
Legba or whatever it is, and like apparently uh Papa Legba or the Legba deity, what he does is he helps you find your purpose and then live it, right? But because it's not Christian, it's seen as demonic, right? So I was like, oh, I see where he's drawing inspiration from, because even
Hmm.
one of the things Ryan Coogler talked about was that smoke and stack. There's a twin deity in the Ifa religion. I can't remember their names right now, but that's where he got part of where he got the names or the idea for Smoke and Stack to be twins, right? And I was like,
Mm.
okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. So I guess that being a part of some of the spiritual things that he kind of drawed on or whatever for the story, but
Oh yeah, he had to dig deep because this
yeah,
this had so like I'm pretty sure there's still stuff that we're missing. I'm pretty sure when we
yeah,
watch it again, we're gonna be like, yo, oh my god, like how
hmm,
did we not catch this? Like
yeah,
he did his research not just only on the history
hmm,
of the blues in general, but
yeah,
just voodoo,
hmm,
hoodoo,
yeah,
just like religion in general,
yeah,
just like just even how Native Americans
hmm,
played their role, and then even the Asian community, how they
yeah,
were literally a bridge.
hmm,
And
yeah.
like people forget those little details.
They
They
do,
do, because like
because
I'm not gonna lie to you, when I saw the movie, I was like, oh my god, yeah, duh, Asian people were
hmm,
minorities just like us,
hmm,
but
hmm,
they also knew that they
yeah.
can go
They
go back and
go
forth.
between. Yeah,
And
yeah,
I love that he had a scene like that. Like again, everything was so intentional because
yeah.
the daughter was on the black side,
Mhm.
walked her happy ass to the white
Which
side,
side? Yeah.
told her mama, "Hey, they want you," blah blah,
Mhm.
and mama walked her happy ass to the
Mhm.
black side, and no one bothered them.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yet they had two prominent businesses
Mhm.
in both
Yeah.
sections,
Yeah. and yeah.
and he made
That was
sure to
cool.
show them walking. Like,
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And that just was crazy because and then when you actually hear like this coming out now, how there were actually Chinese people in that part of Mississippi at the time. And I'm like, nigga, what? Like I like for him to do this kind of research is like, yeah, okay, Ryan, you really a goat. Like you're really
It
top
is
tier. Like you knew what you were doing and you really
for
put on,
sure.
man.
This
Um,
actually made sense. Like I love that
yeah,
he used it as vampires. I love
mm,
that it was still, just it was very entertaining.
yeah,
But the history,
yeah.
like someone needs to do a dissertation. Shit, I might just do my dissertation on this.
Me shit.
Like legit,
Facts.
because
Facts.
there's so much to like literally unplug and dive into.
Even like so for Black History Month this year, we was doing at my second job, we were doing different Black history people who weren't super known. It was centered around the idea of working class Black people, right? So in
Mm-hmm.
the train scene when they see what's the name? I forgot his name in the movie. The guy
I
who
know everything is just the names are escaping, but
yeah,
I
the
know you're talking
names
about
are
the
escaping me.
the
But
drunk one, right?
yes, yes. When Preacher Boy and Stack pull up to him at the train yard, if you look at the train itself, right? The train says Pullman, right? And the Pullman porters from the 1920s until like the 1930s was a black middle class train group, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they formed a union. They were the first black people to form a union, at least popularized it, because they
Okay.
were the people who had to haul the luggage for white folk and yada yada yada. And
Yeah.
they went
Yeah.
they went from the south to the north. They went all over the country, really and truly. So I was like, when I seen Pullman on the train car, I was like, yo, Ryan, you literally just like you just dropping little historical tidbits in there without us even knowing. You know what I mean? So
Everything.
yeah, it's yeah, it was deep. It was deep. I even seen
Really.
Tasia even sent me a thing. What is his name? Is it something Slim? I can't remember his name. I should look it up. Anyway, so one of the things that Tasia sent me right before we got on was that when they were in the car riding to the juke joint, Stack, Preacher Boy,
The drunk guy.
and the drunk guy. Hold on, let me see. Let me see if I can get his
Not
name.
with cornbread, right?
Hmm.
Not with they didn't get cornbread yet.
No, they ain't
Or
get
did they?
cornbread yet. Delta Slim
Okay.
is his name, right?
Delta,
Delroy Lindo is
yeah.
the real is his
I
real
feel
name.
like we should have known that because
Mhm.
how did we not? But
No,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I knew his name was Delroy Lindo, but I'm like Slim, Delta Slim. So she sent me a video. Tasia sent me a video showing how like the reason why those black people were caught on the chain gang is because of vagrancy laws. And I was like, bro, I heard of vagrancy laws. I know what that is, but I
Hmm.
didn't pick up on it in the movie at the time when he was talking. You know what I mean? So basically, really simply, yet like literally the guy said in his TikTok, and what a vagrancy law was basically literally from one day to the next, white people would create laws that would make black people either go to jail. And the reason they did this is to make sure that they would have a prison labor force that wasn't technically or it wasn't that was a legal form of slavery after slavery, right? So
Hmm.
what they would
Hmm.
do is they would find black people and they'll say, okay, this group of black people they don't have IDs. All right, hey, hurry up and tomorrow we're gonna make a law that everybody got to have an ID. Black people ain't gonna get an ID within a day. So they would they
They
would
probably were the
literally
last
put
to
them in
know.
jail. They would literally find them and then use them for forced labor at whatever whenever they was ready to do that. Right. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why when he saw that, he was like, oh, stop the car, slow the car down. He was like, what's going on, y'all boy? And then the police officer shot the gun in the air. Like, and he explained the story afterwards of what was really happening and how they got there and da,
Right.
da, 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 da. And I was like, just them little Easter egg or those little tidbits that he dropped in. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
this man really top tier. He really did his big one, man. He really did his big
You
one.
can tell he's definitely for the people.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like we literally had a whole history lesson, but then
Hmm.
I feel like he also knows like some people are not gonna dive deep into this, but they'll appreciate a good movie.
Hmm. Right,
Because
right.
let's be real. So let's be all the way honest. Like our people,
Hmm.
there's a percentage of our people that just don't give a damn.
Oh, of course they don't. They not. They
They
not.
don't.
They
Like
don't care
we
about
could be
nothing.
having this conversation.
Hmm.
We see the TikToks, we see the Instagram reels, we see
Hmm.
it all, and then they just skip over that because it's like, it's just a movie. Why are we dissecting it? Like,
Right.
you have people like that, and that's all
Hmm.
groups. But
Hmm.
I like that again, everything about the movie was just super intentional.
Right.
super
Right.
intentional. And he really did his history because, like, Renner, what's his name?
Who, the
Right?
vampire?
Yeah.
Remick.
Remin?
Remick.
Remick.
Yeah.
Okay. Remick, he is Irish.
Right. Right.
Right. And then and when Preacher Boy was reciting the Lord's Prayer, and
Mm-hmm.
he was like, and he said, I know this too because it was used on me.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally the history of,
England.
Ireland. Like they literally came in,
Mm-hmm.
the Christians, the Catholics, whatever,
Right.
and they pretty much,
The English in particular. Yeah.
yes, and they pretty much rewrote their whole history
Mm-hmm.
and used religion
Yeah.
to pretty much, shake up their shit too.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
he was like, I've been around this for a long time. Like, that's why we need to stand together and do this and do that. Because I never took Remnick, whatever his name
Mm-hmm.
is, him. I never took him as the devil
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
at all. I think he had devil tendencies,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but I did not really take him as the devil. Actually, no, because in the same way, that's his fall from grace
Mm-hmm.
too, which is
Yeah.
literally what happened
Mm-hmm.
to Satan. So
Yeah.
actually, never mind. He is. It kind
Right.
of showed the history too of him and how he gathers people, promises them a better life.
Right.
But in reality, is it really a better life? You
Right.
can't go outside during the day. You alive forever and ever and ever, or
Mm-hmm.
you got to be stabbed with a wooden stake or whatever the case
Mm-hmm.
is. Like, who the hell's gonna really think of stabbing you with a wooden stake? They're gonna shoot you.
Right.
And then and everyone shares the same knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
but they're
Right.
still being ruled by him because that's why they all ended up dying, is because they just all kept
Mm-hmm.
following Remnick. It
Yeah.
was Stax and
Stack
his
and
girl
Mary. Yeah.
Mary that
Mm-hmm.
were like, they broke away and they actually, I guess, lived out their destiny, which is really to be together
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
forever.
Right.
But yeah, actually, I take that back. Yeah, he represented the devil,
Yeah, he
but
did.
he represented the devil in not an evil light. If
Mm-hmm.
I'm being honest,
Yeah.
it,
He
it
he he very much was, for lack of a better word, he definitely seduced people, right?
exactly.
For a fact, he
Yeah,
definitely did, because he promised them. He did. I guess, what's the quote in the Bible? The wages of sin is
it's
death.
death, but the gift of
Hmm.
life is the gift of life, the gift of whatever is eternal life through Christ Jesus our Lord. For
Right.
the wages of sin is death.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. For the wages of sin is death.
Right. So literally, to live that life, you have to, you will literally have to die. It seems like you're alive, but you're really dead. You are a walking dead person, and you can't even really live. You can't enjoy the sun. You can't
You
enjoy
can't
life
enjoy
to the fullest.
anything.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you really can't. So
Yeah.
they're still being punished at the end of the day.
Right.
So literally, they're in their own way, they're in hell.
Right.
But he didn't go
Mhm.
that far deep. He just kind of
Yeah.
showed them more surviving and just being
Mhm.
around until Preacher Boy literally turned
Mhm.
into an old man, and they were like, "Hey, you can live forever. You can have this fame forever." And he was like, "I don't want that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Trust
Mhm.
me, I'm good. I live my life. Like I
Right.
I am good." And I think that also speaks about destiny,
Yeah.
because he didn't want more time. He didn't want,
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh, like I wish I had. No, he was
Mhm.
like, I did it. I did it right.
Right.
I was
Yeah.
free, even though that night was hell.
Yeah.
For a few hours, I was actually free. We were all free.
Right. 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 Which is that's an important tidbit for a lot of people, because I
Yeah,
think, going back to the gift analogy I said earlier, a lot of people don't realize that until you really live your gift and your purpose, bruh, everything's not gonna make sense.
it
Everything is
won't.
gonna
It'll be
seem like,
uncomfortable.
yeah, everything is gonna seem like, um, oh, I it's gonna feel half lived. Let me say it that way. That's the best way to say it. And because you always gotta live within that purpose, within that gift, every day that you don't, you losing something. You feel, he's it's funny because he symbolized that even at the end of the movie, people were talking about not the first end credit, but the second one, where he was talking
Hmm.
about this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. It had a
Hmm.
double meaning of his light, his light that he needed to let shine was his gift of music. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And a lot of people, I think a lot of people were just like, oh well, that don't really got nothing to do with the Bible, da 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 da. But it's like, no, like, if you're not living from that light, you ain't really living, bro. You know, and I think people misunderstood it, but it is what it
A
is.
lot of people did, and a lot of people, as we know, misunderstand the Bible all the
Mhm.
time because the Bible
Yeah,
definitely talks about living in God's purpose, which
yeah,
technically should be your purpose.
right,
And that's how we know
hmm
is with our gifts.
right, right,
So Preacher Boy knew, like, I have a gift.
yeah,
I literally have a gift. But again, what direction are you going to go in?
mm-hmm. Fact.
He
What
could have
direction are
easily
you?
sold himself to the devil
Mm-hmm.
and been around for 200 plus thousand years
Mm-hmm.
living in his gift. But again, there's still an emptiness.
Right.
Here he literally lived his life. He lived in his destiny,
Mm-hmm.
made money. He named his band after the girl that he fell in love with, even if it is for that one night. And, and she actually saved his life too.
Mm.
She did.
Also, right.
Because when they, when, whatever, that
Vampire.
guy,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
he came in when he was finally allowed in, whatever,
Yeah.
and they were upstairs fighting.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one that actually hit him
Mm.
with something to allow Preacher Boy to leave, and then she ended up dying
Oh yeah,
because
yeah,
she
yeah.
got bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If she never hit him, Preacher Boy would have been bit.
Yeah.
He would have been gone.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
she literally, like she knew, and I think that just shows how Black women, we will always just sacrifice
Yeah.
ourselves
Yeah.
for the greater good, like we do.
Mm-hmm.
Because she
Yeah.
could have easily left, because no one was really thinking of her. They
Right.
really weren't. He
Not even
wanted
her
money.
husband. What was her husband? Lord have mercy. What was this lady
Child,
husband? Lord.
he probably did. She probably did not have a husband. She probably just said that, like, "Oh, my husband." She wasn't
Fact.
thinking about her husband a few
Right.
hours
True.
ago.
Hey, listen, what Stack said. Oh, that boy found that button. I was dying. You understand me? Hey, listen, the sex scenes in this movie, crazy as hell, but funny as hell. I loved them.
Yeah,
I loved them.
yeah,
I love
literally. I was like, okay, you like a little twang. All right.
right, right.
That's all I could think about. Like, all right,
hmm You
cool.
know, you know what's funny too about Mary Stack's girl, right? The white girl. Um, it's amazing how they play her because one in both real life and obviously in the movie, her grandfather was black, and apparently that's true in real life too.
Yes.
I didn't know that. I was like, oh
On both sides, actually. Yeah.
okay. That's see that I didn't even know that. So
I
not
believe
only is
she's Black and
she
Filipino.
interesting. Her last
hmm
name is Steinfeld. Oh, okay, cool.
Well, she has a daddy, but yeah.
No. Of course, it's just it's funny because I'm like, but yeah, no. I'll talk about that a little bit off the pod because
hmm
yeah. I'll tell you more about that later.
Yeah.
But but on both sides, I didn't know that though. That's what's up. So
hmm
so she's literally, I guess what I don't know. I can't remember what is it, an eighth black or quarterback, whatever she is, whatever.
Something like that. Yeah.
So the fact of how she was raised by a white woman whose dad was black, and her mom looked out for Smoking Slim. I
Mhm.
would love to kind of see a little bit more of that story to see like what was that dynamic like. You feel me? They didn't really get
Right.
too much into it, but the fact that she was basically white seeming or white passing or white, you know what I mean? That
Mhm.
forbidden love story was crazy as hell. And then I'm
Yeah,
over here
but
thinking
what
too.
I love too is that
Mhm,
they, how can I say it? I think it also showed like the battle that a lot of people do go with,
mhm,
that a lot of people do have, I'm sorry, when they are of a mixed like background.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
Like she clearly is Black,
Right.
you know, but she is still looked at differently. She couldn't even
Mhm.
marry, but she couldn't even be with her Black man
Right.
because of her complexion.
Mhm,
When Remnick, whatever,
mhm,
came to the door and they were like, "Oh no, y'all can't come in here."
mhm,
Well, why is she here? And
mhm,
then Mary, whatever, Annie was like, "She's family,"
mhm.
and it's just like she is. Like
Right.
she actually is family, but it's also interesting.
Mhm.
She is the one. I mean, she volunteered herself, but she is the one that went to go speak to them
Yeah.
because she knew that they would listen to her
Right. Mhm.
because she knew she had that privilege.
Right. Right.
Not saying that they came off as racist or anything, because in actuality they didn't. They just wanted to
Mhm.
come in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
However, she also knew when she was trying to get money from them or whatever the case,
Yeah.
whatever it was. Like I said, I gotta watch this movie again.
Mhm.
She knew that. because of her privilege, her
Yeah.
skin,
That
whatever,
will hear her out.
she could actually get money
Yeah.
from them in some capacity. I
Hmm.
found that very interesting too. I
Yeah.
think it mimics, how white women operate.
Yeah.
Sometimes, even how those that are of mixed race, and
Hmm.
you really can't tell, like,
Hmm.
oh, are you black, are you white, whatever the case is, and how they, they can do the switch on and off.
Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
found
Yeah.
that I found that interesting
Right.
as well.
They allowed to kind of live in two separate worlds at the same
And she
time.
kind of was. She
Yeah.
what didn't she live? She lived in like some farmland with her rich white husband. Because I remember
Yep.
Stack saying that,
Hmm.
all the above. But then she
And
came back to the South to bury her mom,
hmm
and she was hanging with the niggas. So
yeah. 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 He she was married to somebody I think in Kansas or some shit like that.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just know
Yeah.
that because he was like, I left you so that you could have a rich husband with a big house. Like he said all that stuff that I
Hmm.
remember. But
Hmm.
it's amazing. Like she didn't want all that. She wanted him,
Right.
and he wanted her.
Right.
But politics.
Politics. Politics. Listen, yeah, man. Oh man. Who am I missing before we jump off? Um Cornbread. Let's talk a little bit.
Child.
Cornbread is hilarious. I'm sorry. Like I know on some level he was supposed to be the comedic relief, at least when he became a vampire, right? But like just to I like I'm not gonna lie, I liked to see him in the movie because I feel like him as
Yeah.
an actor, I've seen him like here and there, but because he's
Mhm.
not super super popular, I'm like, bro, like to see him for him to be in this movie, I was like, yo, this man deserves his props. Like we need to see more of him in movies and shit. But
Yes.
this we all family. What you mean? We out here playing around. Y'all not gonna let me
Singing songs and my money. Like,
in?
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, he was definitely the
Hmm.
comic relief for sure. And all he wanted to do was pee. I'm still confused why he traveled 10 miles to take a piss when
Yeah,
he
I don't
literally
know.
could have just exited and gone to like the corner and just,
Quick bush and then boom.
right. But he literally went into the abyss to
Hmm.
pee.
Yeah. And
Right.
smoke was hot. He was like, nigga, but they was looking, I was like, hold up, why you letting this drunk nigga guard the door? Like that shit had me dying. Yo, the dialogue alone had me in fucking shambles. Okay. I was like,
Yeah.
yo, the Ryan Coogler did his big one, okay? Let's
Yeah. He
because
really did. He really did. And I'm pretty sure because I know that scene with Delta Slim.
yeah,
Delta Slim, Preacher Boy, and Stax,
yeah.
when they were in the car before. I think it was before they got cornbread. I think,
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
but it was definitely the car scene. And they started to sing the blues. That was actually improvised.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw them
Yeah,
talking about it.
and
I
I
was
was
like,
just like, that
what?
was amazing. Oh, it was with cornbread because cornbread was in the car because he was in the interview with
Mhm, mhm,
what's
mhm.
his name when they were talking about that scene. But yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure there was like a lot of improvising,
Mhm.
and I think that's why a lot of things just felt so authentic.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we're
And
just out
that's
here telling ghost stories and being kind to one another.
right.
Shut up.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Admit it, you did.
You
Like,
did.
listen, and it's so dope. I gotta go back to Annie for a moment. It's so dope that she was able to see through the shit. Like she the one she told him what it was. And then everybody
Yeah.
like, huh? Like they all looking like when it's so funny because black women so much symbolically, black women represent intuition so well. And I love the way Ryan did that. Like even some of the African like goddesses, whether it's
Hmm.
in Egypt, whether it's in Ifa, they always symbolize intuition. And the
Of
fact that he
course.
put her, she was a hoodoo priestess or whatever you want to call it, and it, she was top tier. She listen, she
For
was looking at
sure.
the movie, low key, high key, but
No, and again, I have to go back to like what I said at first. Like, she was not the traditional beauty. That is not
mhm,
the traditional beauty standards.
yeah,
And she was literally one of the main characters. She was like the main lady next to Mary.
hmm,
But she really was the main lady. And again,
yeah,
not a traditional
hmm,
Hollywood pick for
right,
the leading role.
right, 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 right,
So I'm
mhm,
just loving it.
yeah,
I'm loving it. Full figured woman, dark, beautiful skin.
hmm,
Um,
yeah, man,
she's from the UK, if I'm not mistaken,
yeah, 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 yeah,
and again, just beautiful. And she played the hell out of the role. She played the hell out of the role in Lovecraft Country,
Country. Yeah, yeah. I saw
which
that too.
I love that.
Hmm.
I love that series.
Yeah, me too.
I was so pissed off that she got caught up with the brouhaha, but it's okay.
Hmm. Yeah,
But regardless, though, yeah, like again, the whole movie top tier was really good. Like that's the movie that you have to see,
have to.
like maybe 3, 4 times. I'm dead ass serious.
You know what's funny, Tay? I told myself go in there with like a notebook and pad just to have like so you remember this line, remember this line. But I was like, it might be too dark. Da, da, da. I played myself. Next time I go to the movie theaters, I'm gonna have something with me to like
No,
make sure I
you
get
kind
this
of
real
have
piece.
to.
Yeah.
You have to because
Hmm.
again, when we first watching, we're just trying to figure out, okay, like
Hmm.
what's going on. Now that
Yeah.
we know the storyline, like we know what's really going to happen, now we can
Hmm.
pay attention to details.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm really excited about when I
Hmm.
watch it again. Like, okay, what detail did I really, really miss? Because I
Hmm.
remember, because it was me and DJ who saw it,
Hmm.
and I was telling her, because like the first thing she said to me when we came out the theater, she was like, "What did you see?"
Hmm.
I was like, "Girl, did you see him not getting baptized? Did you not see this? Did you not see that?"
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
she was like, I think with the baptism especially, she was like, "Oh, I didn't even think of the
Baptism.
baptizing." So,
Yeah.
like I can just imagine like the other gems that I'm going
Hmm.
to like pick up on,
Uncover.
and
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch it again.
Yeah. Me too.
Like literally, I can't wait.
Me too. Me too. Me too. I can't wait. I listen. We might have to go this weekend for real. Like just
We might
plan,
have
look
to
it
go. I
up,
don't know if
and
I
go.
can go with you, Terrell, because I feel like we're gonna disturb the whole movie theater.
Hey, bro, it is what it is. Hey, hey.
We're gonna be like,
First of all, you should have already saw the movie. So that we everybody rewatching it. Stop playing. We need to run these numbers up for Ryan. You know what I'm saying? For
that
Ryan
is
and the whole
true.
cast.
Technically, like you real late. You should
Hmm.
literally be on watch 2 or 3 at
Hmm.
on this week,
Right.
okay?
At least.
For real. So yeah,
Yeah.
no, you're right. You're right. But I can just imagine this. Yo.
Hmm. 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 Yeah.
I
Listen,
can literally see it.
that'll be funny as hell.
Oh, but I'm down. Listen, I
Mhm.
have a meeting at 10, really 11. It shouldn't be no more than an hour on Saturday.
Okay.
Oh, but I desperately need to get my nails did, like for real. So and the plans that we have is really at 8:30, so we have time.
Yeah.
We have time.
Tasia is she working on Saturday.
Ew.
Up there, you know where.
Mm-hmm.
What you call it, and she gets off at like I think I want to say 1, so that means she'll be home at 2. So in between, like we'll figure out a time. We'll figure out a time in
For
like
sure.
mid afternoon, like or after 4ish. You know what I mean?
Yeah, after
Some of
4 would
that
make
gives us
sense
enough
because it's
time to
like a
watch it
2-hour
still a little bit,
movie.
and then yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think that'll be good. We
Mm.
can literally like the earliest we can literally see it,
Mhm.
for lack of better words, is like 5.
Yeah.
Since it's a 2-hour movie, so then we get done around 7:30, depending
Mhm.
on like the 5 bells that it starts,
Yeah.
and then we can jet off to where we gotta go
Right.
for 8:30.
Yeah. 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 Listen,
So
man. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, thank you, Tay. Thank you for being on live with me. Cause shoot, this has been a vibe. But no,
yeah, no, it's
we
oh,
we definitely got
can't
to watch
wait.
this movie again though, for a
We
fact.
do. We have to watch it again and then run this back and be
Yeah,
like, okay,
facts.
wait, I
Facts.
changed my whole opinion on this one.
Right. That nigga really
Yeah.
is the devil.
Yeah, right. No, but I corrected myself. I'm like, well,
Yeah,
technically, his
yeah.
fall from grace,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
it just wasn't like the traditional evil devil. Is what I'm
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
say. It was
Mhm.
more like you said, the seduction.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, and
Yeah.
it's true. What's funny, even when you look at the devil in the Bible, when you talk about how he tried to tempt Christ, right?
Yes. I was literally gonna
A
say
lot of
that.
that temptation was seduction. It wasn't this thing of like I think people think that the devil is this being that comes to you and it's just
No,
evil,
he's a
pure evil. No,
sneaker.
he come to you and he knows what you like. He
Of
tries to give you what
course,
you want.
he will, and the thing is, he will, but it comes at a price.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. It comes at a
Right.
price, and then, like you said, he knows what you want. And the thing is, he's not gonna blatantly like. If I could just throw this,
Mm-hmm.
he's not gonna blatantly throw this. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He's gonna be like, hey.
Mhm.
I see you need a clip for your hair.
Right.
I can give this to you.
Yeah.
Look at it. Strong, black,
Mm-hmm.
well put together.
Mm-hmm.
Call me
He,
almond, like
yeah.
literally like
Right. Finessing you. And
right.
you know what's even funnier, going back just one moment before we get off. Like to the whole concept that Annie talked about was that when a person becomes a vampire, they lose their soul, right? They lose their soul
Yeah.
and or excuse me, their soul is trapped in that
It's
body.
trapped. Yeah, because
It's
I was like,
trapped.
it's
That's what it
still
was.
it's
They're trapped, right?
unless you
And
put the wooden stake through the heart. Yeah.
mhm. and they have to now wander around trapped in that body forever, which is a hell like state. You feel me? You
That
literally
is
lose your
hell.
soul, right? Yeah.
That literally is hell, because like, when you die, and then depending on your belief in Christ and all these other factors, you
Yeah.
may be down under, and
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be in that state,
Yeah.
compared to heaven, where I feel like heaven is whatever we make it.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, whatever your heaven looks like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to like literally be your heaven. You
Right.
can go to different places,
Mm-hmm.
like you can travel the cosmos. Hell, you
Mm-hmm.
can be on the top of the pyramid. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
you can be in like a whole forest, you can be with
Mm-hmm.
unicorns, like whatever your heaven is. Like I'm very big on that.
Yeah.
That's what I really feel heaven is.
Mm-hmm.
But you being in like a pit of fire,
Mm-hmm.
feeling every scorch, feeling
Yeah.
everything,
Mm-hmm.
inhaling all, just again, it's not supposed to be pleasant.
Yeah.
That is hell. So imagine being in this body, can't reproduce, can't, again, you can't do anything. You can't even go out in the sun
Yeah.
and do
You
whatever.
can't
Like
enjoy life. You
you really
trapped.
can't.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. The only
You
sweet
are.
spot.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hmm.
Sorry. Go
I
ahead.
was
Go
gonna say the only sweet spot for like Stax and Mary
ahead. Hmm.
is that they're together.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like,
Are they really together?
exactly.
You
That's
know
the deep dive that I would love.
what I mean?
Like I hope, like we got to do like a number two, and even if it's like a prelude to like this, like I
Mhm.
don't know, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know. We
yeah, yeah, yeah.
gotta do
Yeah.
something.
It got to be something. It definitely got to
Got
be
to be something. Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
All right, Tay. Thank you. I appreciate you.
You're
For those who
welcome.
listen, this has been Relationship Wise. Peace.
Peace. I'm just gonna leave, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's fine.
Okay. Bye.